What's up, you guys? I'm Chrissy, and I'm here with
Taliek, aka Soulful Vegan, aka Mr. Super Healthy Wealthy Pax Plus. Here, I also got my book, The Cosmic Daddy-Daughter Relationship. We're also talking about my other book that's coming out, The Parasitic Invasion of the Black Community. And you also can get my book, The Evolution of Soul Food, Volume 1 on Amazon right now. So yeah, if you got, it's a beautiful thing to have that French bloodline because they were the excellent record keepers.
Yep.
They have records going back like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I tell people, like I have a lot of indigenous bloodlines. It's common. It's like, man, I can't find nobody. Like it's always a stop. Boom.
Yep.
It's because a lot of the courthouses that we had before a lot of the new settlers came here, they did burn them down to get to get the land titles and stuff like that, and you know what I mean. But it's still a beautiful thing to find out because a lot of the like the crypto Sephardic Jews and stuff like that came here, most of them married into the indigenous bloodlines too as well. That was very, very, very common too as well.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of those people were crypto Sephardic Jews, Sephardians. A lot of them, I told you, got kicked out in the 1600s or were expulsed out of France and around that time for not converting to Catholicism. So a lot of them went to Nova Scotia. They got into it with the British and stuff there because they was trying to get in on the beaver skin and pelt the fur trade. So that wasn't going down. So they went down to Mississippi to settle down Louisiana, Mississippi, but mainly Louisiana. They had the 7 year. That's the French. They also had the 7 year Indian War. But the reason why a lot of the French families kept a lot of amongst each other because the French government gave a lot of people money, gave other people money for marrying into other French families and keeping the French bloodline French. Right. So, I know I'm American Indian on both sides. Okay. So, and how I find this out, I'm going through history. I'm looking for like white slave masters. I'm like, I can't find them. I'm like, where they at? I'm finding black colonizers, black slave owners. And the biggest slave owners in Louisiana were the black slave owners. They were wealthy. The Licours, the DuPonts. I can go on and on. But
now, are they like sugarcane? Because I know there's a lot of sugarcane, plantations out there.
Yeah,
I think that's where my family was.
Yeah, and they also had connections all the way to Haiti, because that's where a lot of their plantations were too as well. So they also shipped a lot of their slaves unruly, like the Natchez or the Chitimacha. They would get shipped to Haiti, and some of the Chickasaw too as well. But how things worked back then, different. The British was working with the Chickasaw. The Chickasaw was at war with their brother and or cousin tribe, the Choctaw. The Choctaw was aligned with the French. So whenever the French and the British would fight, the Choctaw and the Chickasaw would fight, and whoever would lose would get put into slavery. So yeah, history is starting to come out a lot. But we do a lot of that. Shout out to Dane Calloway, Big Chief Topcast, BCU University, Follow the Tribe, Kyrie Irving, a lot of people following their genealogy, following their bloodline. It's real fun.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's real fun finding that history. Like Beyonce.
Right. I know her mom talks about it a lot. Like their lineage.
Her mom they have a royal bloodline.
She was just talking about like how she named her daughter Solange, and she went into her like genealogy and she found out that somebody had that name. She said she didn't even know that was in their lineage. She just came up with that name out of a book.
Yeah, epigenetics is real.
Yeah,
epigenetics is the whatever your ancestors was doing is stored in your DNA and your genes, and you actually thinking you're doing something new, but you're actually doing something that a predecessor that was doing.
Like, and that's so important. I feel like for me in my journey of like discovering family members or family members that I didn't know were in my family, surprises when you do the little 23andMe's. And like people are like, why are you so interested in knowing who you? I'm like, it's really like, you're learning something about yourself. You know what I mean?
And let me preface that too. 23andMe and Rick Kittles, they were sued. It's actually found out it's actually for entertainment purposes. Really? What your family does, what you tell me what your family does, that is the only thing that holds anything in court, the genealogy.
Wow.
Because people been writing and leaving records for thousands and thousands of years. It's not hard to find them unless somebody destroyed them or something like that. But genealogy, the 23andMe is a group that I was a part of. We swabbed the dog. We swabbed the kiwi.
What?
We swabbed the dog. We swabbed the kiwi. We sent it off. The dog was like 20% African. 20. It was just crazy. The kiwi, it was crazy. And then they had to admit it was just for entertainment purposes. They don't have a database for everybody.
Some of them probably just be making up stuff.
Genealogy. That is, and then whenever you do your genealogy, it's very, very fun. Whenever you like go down, you have ancestors that was doing amazing things, so they have like stories that was left about them. They have newspaper clippings or even writings or even books. Like I had to find out some of my ancestors had people written about them and stuff like that. That's how I was able to find a lot of their identity too as well, because a lot of people are reclassified too as well. That's another thing, So, but it's very fun. It's fun. And like some people that want to find about the money and stuff like that. Money is going to be there, but it's more soul satisfying knowing who you are.
That's me. It's more like a soul searching of like you said, epigenetics, or like just knowing where you come from, noticing like I didn't meet my maternal biological family since like a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Right. She suffered a lot of the same ailments, and I'm like, how would I even, you know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't have known a thing. Like your medical history, a lot comes from, the people before you. If you don't know them, how do you know how to like navigate?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's very, very important. Yeah, I met my real dad when I was 19, so I know that.
Oh, wow.
And like we're going back to Beyonce, like her dad is from Alabama. And I think his lineage is like Choctaw Indian, American Indian as well. Like my dad is my dad too on that side. They're from Alabama, and they're Muskogee Creek Indian too as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really fun.
It is fun.
It's really fun.
I enjoy
it's so
it.
satisfying.
It's not for everybody, because when I start talking about it, most people don't like to conversate about it. But I'm like, I enjoy it.
Because
really
they don't know. Every other ethnic group is proud of their lineage, and they'll let you know, hey, this is my forefather, and they hold it with esteem, and I feel like we should too as well.
Absolutely.
Like I thought I was the only entrepreneur. I'm the
no, you come from a long line of entrepreneurs.
I got to catch up. Yeah, I got to catch up. That. You know what I mean? One of the things I'll say this. One of the things that one of my ancestors said, that was American Indian, said we have to prepare for 7 generations. So I got to prepare for 7 generations.
Wow.
Leave a good legacy.
Man, okay, can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Legacy, because I feel like I've always tried to have that posture, like going into certain like business aspects or like relationships. I always think of like legacy, like not just me right now, but people that come after me, right? So like you say, that's like actual saying, I guess, or something that someone said before, is like prepare for 7 generations. I've never heard that before, but that's always how I've like carried myself or carried the spirit that I carry. My essence has always been like, it's not just for me. Let's generational wealth. Let's create something, build a legacy. Like me, like when I get married, I literally want to have like a family crest. You gonna see it. They see the plates, lines, years and years and years from now. Like I want to create something that's generational. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean that's family is really always really about business. So if you don't know that, for every brand that you see, it's a family brand. It's family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Family is really business. We just been taught to be consumers. You know what I mean? So once we understand that, you know what I mean? So that's what really pushed me to be an entrepreneur. That's what really drove my entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I mean? To really even open up Soul Food Vegan. My restaurant opened up like 6 years ago. How I got started, I'm an herbalist, I'm a holistic practitioner, a naturopath. So I created a disease prevention program probably like 13 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
And through the CPM program, that's the chronic pain management program. So that's a lot of our elders, our aunties, our uncles that's on 20, 30 different types of medications that really can't get off. They'll let an herbalist like me come in there. I have a whole slideshow presentation breaking down the foods that's banned in 50 other countries that we regularly consume. And I also break down how to eat in circadian rhythm, how to eat in the season and how to eat berries and stuff like that during the season, how those antigens store in the body year round, and creating something called the vacuuminium is where the word berry comes from. So and also at the end I'll break down how the brain and the gut connects, and at the very end I'll do a cooking demo. So the cooking demo, I would make things like my vegan boudin balls. I'll make Cajun pasta melt lasagna, vegan burgers and stuff like that. But I would do it with a healthy twist. So, but that was me healing the people. So all of a sudden it got backed up for catering, and all of a sudden I had to open up something called Soul Food Vegan. But the whole point is to heal. You know what I mean? And we actually closed down right now. Actually doing some remodeling, doing something. My brother Steve Rogers actually have the building, so we're actually keeping it, keeping it that that dollar flowing amongst us. But I also have another building. I'm still on the block. 2411 Emancipation, Suite 100, super healthy, wealthy juice bar slash dispensary. We have organic, clean fruit, pesticide-free fruit. Also going to have organic CBD, also organic THC8 for a lot of people with PTSD, a lot of pain issues and stuff like that. We're also going to have stuff for cancer patients and stuff as well, and people with different anxiety and stuff like that. But we're going to have organic grab and goes, juicy smoothies, alkaline sandwiches, Dr. Sabi juices, organic fruit bowls, stuff to clean the lymphatic system and stuff like that. Yeah. And veggie bacon on that. I also a lot of the recipes and stuff like that you're missing. We also have something coming. I'm doing pop-ups and stuff, so I know people miss the food. We got something coming up too as well. So stay tuned. But you're missing the food. I have a cookbook called The Evolution of Soul Food Volume 1. You should check it out. It's on Amazon. You can Google it. It's an amazing book. I have amazing recipes. I have some soul food recipes. I have some detoxes in there. I also put my parts of my disease prevention program in there too as well. Okay. So also up and coming books that's coming out, as you see, is the Cosmic Daddy Daughter Connection.
Love that.
That's actually a picture of me and my daughters that's been animated, and it just basically breaks down the eternal connection. And what inspired me is Lion King too as well. Everybody, right. But that's the eternal connection that I have with my daughters. And whenever I do leave this flesh, how can you tap into my spirit when I'm gone? Right. And also things about loving themselves, how to love their hair, and how their hair is actually connections and antennas and coils to tap into to the creator and the higher sources and stuff like that, and how to love themselves and stuff like that. And that's the Cosmic Daddy Daughter relation. That's going to be out. That's a proof.
I love it.
I brought that for you guys to see. But I also have another book too as well, and I'm announcing it right here. I actually have a lot of pre-orders right now for it. It's called The Parasitic Invasion of the Black Community.
Ooh. Yes. Ooh, come on, wait. Let's get into that because that sounds really good.
Yes, indeed.
Let's get into that. So what is that? I feel like that's a loaded title. Mm-hmm. What is the parasitic? What is the parasite?
We're talking about food. Okay. And talking about a lot of foods. What we talk about is quote unquote hood foods. A lot of foods that we actually traditionally, a lot of in the inner cities and stuff like that, in food deserts, we eat a lot of foods that's on the shelves for a long time. A lot of foods that's loaded with preservatives and stuff like that quote unquote have shelf life for years and stuff like that. But what we also been knowing this, the longer the shelf life, shorter your life. But what I've been uncovering, what I've uncovered is these, when we've been looking at these things under the microscope, Doritos, Sneakers, all these chips, Pringles, your favorite Takis,
Cheetos, hot Cheetos.
We're looking at these things under the microscope, and we're finding out it's different parasites. We find out these things are moving thousands of parasites on a whole nother level, and they're wreaking havoc. And I took a deeper dive, and I'm exposing some things about how a lot of these parasites are actually being farmed by Big Pharma. And one thing, if you know anything about parasites in the body and the excrement of parasites, it immediately starts cancer. But I'm also making people not look at cancer in the same way as well. Cancer is actually it's basically quarantining these parasites and the parasitic invasion from the rest of the body too as well. And I'm also going to be exposing some amazing things too as well that you never know. Like it's an ancient saying, "As above, so below; as in, so without." So what we're finding out doing research on these parasites, like people like, man, I have a craving for this today. I just gotta have it. And me being in the restaurant industry, I'm finding out some people go crazy, don't have certain things. They're like, what the heck? They'll trip out.
Yeah.
Especially not in my industry, but not in the vegan industry, but a lot of the other industries, you know, the meat industry, that people go crazy. They really flip out. People tell me if they don't have it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what's the reason? And it's a lot, you know, and a lot of some of my people that's plant based, they'll go back and like they just can't get out. Like, what's going on? So doing research with these parasites, we finding out these parasites send they can send electrical impulse to the brain to make you have cravings. And they also, whenever you beat that craving, they can actually burrow into travel up to the brain through the spine, and lean in that synaptic on that nerve in the brain, and make you have that craving. They're that intelligent, but these parasites are very very intelligent, and like what I was saying earlier about you might have a craving for this or that. These parasites are even farming other parasites in your body. They're like, I'll give an example. Let's say a parasite that comes from goat might like the parasite that comes from shrimp. So with the parasite yeah,
Hold on, wait.
yeah.
All right, we need to hear it. Okay.
So the parasite would actually get a male and female, get a mucus glob, put both of them in there and make them reproduce, then put their babies in there and make them feed off those parasites and just make numerous sacs all over the body, farming these parasites so they can eat them. Parasite farming another parasite. Wow. Same way that we farm chickens and you know what I mean? And I always let people know the catalyst for cancer is foreign RNA. Foreign RNA is a fancy word for saying animal DNA. You got to clean it out your body. And that's why I'm opening up my new juice bar / the dispensary, Super Healthy Wealthy Juice Bar Dispensary. You have organic fruit, organic juices to clean out the lymphatic system. The only way you can clean out the lymphatic system is through fruit sugar, you know?
Really?
Well, the best
sugar
fruit. Yeah, well,
you hear sugar as a negative one, but you're saying it actually helps.
Yeah, sugar that's not been stripped away from the fiber molecule. When you strip that fiber from the sugar, then you're gonna have a problem. Then you're gonna have elevated your high blood sugar, sugar levels and stuff like that. But when you keep that sugar molecule and that fiber connected, and that's a lot of people do that with cold pressing. I don't do that. I like to call my juice nano juice. It works on a nano level and the fibrous level. It's gonna actually clean your lymphatic system with the fiber, and it's still gonna be tasty juice as well. So that's why one of the main reasons why I'm opening up super healthy wealthy, juice bar. It's gonna have a tea bar as well. We have all the alkaline teas, juices, alkaline grab and goes and stuff like that, and things to heal you and stuff like that too. But in the Evolution of Soul Food Volume 1, I also have a fruit salad in there as well, juices. I mean, smoothies, detoxes, and stuff like that as well. But I'm not just showing the problem, I'm showing you how to attack it. And
absolutely,
you're not eating just to live, you're eating to live. You know what I mean? And you are what you eat, and your health is definitely your wealth. And one of the most things that you have to discipline is what comes in your mouth. You have to, with your eyes, ears, and of course what you eat.
Right. Well, you're speaking to me. Okay. Let me tell you. All right. So I want to talk about your personal journey and your inspiration.
Right on.
So you grew up cooking on Houston's East Side and even fractured your heel playing basketball. How did that injury reroute you from sports to holistic cooking?
Helping me revive myself and stop looking at basketball. I had a little basketball background, my hoop dream and stuff like that. Played a little semi-pro ball and all that in college and stuff like that. But help rebuilding myself and rebuilding my body, then it was better than before. I just wasn't in a hurry to tear my body down. So made me go. I went plant-based at like 24, and I just started healing myself. But what really got me started was helping my cousin Larry get off schizophrenia medicine. And he's actually a writer too as well. He's wrote like 5 books. He actually has a documentary. He actually has a book that just got put on Amazon, and Tubi, and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But he was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Okay.
And this is my first cousin, and I wanted to help him out. I wanted to find a way to help my cousin out some kind of way.
Right.
So I was cool with a guy named two twins named Paul Moreland, Paul Moreland and Phil Moreland, aka Red Pill, Blue Pill. They're known in the Black conscious community. They're bringing a lot of lectures, and Notre Dame University bringing a lot of information. So they had their father, their stepfather at the time was a guy named Dr. Sabi. I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Sabi.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I was like, hey, I need the information. So they gave me all the whole environmental balance and the alkaline. And an elder of mine was helping doing the marketing, bringing him to U of H. And I reached out to them and helped them, with the marketing and stuff to help bring him to U of H in 2011, and met him. That's the first time I met him when he came to U of H. And with the help of Dr. Sabi and another holistic practitioner, shout out to Dr. Yuma Bellamy, U360 out of Washington, D.C. He helped me with my cousin and his doctor at the time. We found out the medicine that he was taking had a 70% suicide rate. Yeah, because he wanted to kill himself, all kinds of crazy stuff. It was tearing him up. So we told the doctor, and he was cool with the Eastern approach. That's basically what they call this, the holistic approach. And they lowered his dosage down week by week, week by week. And we supplemented it with herbs and herbs like Gotu-Kola, lion's mane. Got him on sarsaparilla, burdock root. Had him on a lot of high fruit, a lot of fruit fibers diet. Had him a lot of quinoa and stuff like that, and a lot of herbs and greens, callaloo. And long story short, the third week he actually did a video. I didn't know he was going to do this. He had a video with all the medicine. He threw it all in the trash, and he got off the schizophrenia medicine. And he wrote a book called Smiling Through the Pain. And he's wrote like 5 books since then. He's wrote a documentary about it. And he has like a short film about his whole experience that just recently went out. So that's what got me started in the whole like holistic and learning the power of herbs. And like they wrote my cousin off to be crazy for the rest of his life. And he got past that by utilizing nature and utilizing what God was here. I don't like to take credit for it, because I didn't. God created. That's what God created here for us. You know what I mean? So I'm just simply directing him to what God put us here for. The same thing I'm doing with everybody else. You know what I mean?
Tools and supplements that we have here. Okay, so can you walk us through the moment you realized food could both be medicine and a business idea?
Working with a company called Superfood Village, my guy named Lushan Thomas. We actually entered this crazy. That's a great question. We actually introduced Houston to like CMOS before people like this, probably like 16, probably like 15, 14 years ago. So this before the CMOS craze. So we introduced the community to CMOS, and we just seen the health benefits of it. And we did an event, and we sold out of it. We started selling moringa. So moringa is the world's most nutritious land plant. I love moringa. 46 different anti-inflammatory ingredients, 7 times the iron than spinach, 300 times more potent than chemotherapy. I love it. 92 trace minerals. Moringa, we will sell spirulina. Spirulina is one of the world's most powerful antiviral plants. You can check out spirulina in the 1996 Harvard studies. There's no virus that can live in the test tube with it. So we will sell spirulina, sea moss, moringa, and we also will sell chlorella, which is the world's most powerful detoxing plant. The Japanese utilized chlorella whenever they were nuked, when they were hit with the nuclear bomb. So they was able to remove radiation out of their bodies, and it was able to help repair their DNA. So it also repairs the DNA, also cleanses out the lungs. It's an amazing blood cleanser and stuff like that. And it's also been tested like 40 to 60 times more protein in meat gram for grams. So same as spirulina. I think spirulina has been tested up to 70 times more protein in meat gram for gram. So we would sell these supplements. And before that, I was selling different raw herbs and stuff like that, and powdered herbs. But I always knew people needed it. I just knew I had to pay for it, and I just knew people needed it. You know what I mean? And just I always have an infatuation with herbs and growing things and stuff like that. And doing my genealogy, what we was talking about earlier, just finding out I come from a line of healers and root workers and stuff like that deal with the roots and knew the power of the roots and stuff like that. And That's a great question. I'm glad you asked me that because that is how pharmacopoeia was actually created by through herbalists and snake killers. Which I found out one of my great grandfather was a snake killer.
What's
Yeah,
that? Wait,
yeah.
what's that? That sounds interesting too.
Oh, well, heal people from snake bites, but he
Okay.
also knew how to use the poison to make medicine too as well.
Wow.
And when you do deep research, you'll find out all the people that turned from herbs to the um, the pharmaceuticals, which is actually petroleum based, has a lot to do with the big oil companies. But before that, it was most of all the I think 70 to 80% of all of medicine had cannabis in it. Correlation. Why reason why I do have cannabis in there. Like Dr. Sabi said, whenever he went healed one of the Saudi princes out there, and he had him walk and he couldn't walk. He gave him put him on his detox and stuff like that. He started walking again.
Wow.
I think his nephew I think his grandbaby couldn't had some type of issues too. And he said, "I'll give you whatever you want, Sabi." He said, "Okay." I think he said, maybe, I'm not sure if he said the amount of money, but he said whatever he said. Then he said, "I need a field of cannabis." He said, "Oh, I can't do that." Well, the cannabis is what got you up and walking. And the reason why cannabis is really so healthy, it actually programs the cannabinoids or the CBD factors, actually programs cancer cells to die. It's a super anti-inflammatory. It's a neurological anti-inflammatory, meaning it helps in anything time in the brain. It helps with neurological issues, helps you relax. Um, of course, you have to watch it in this day and age. A lot of people are spraying it, using a lot of chemicals and pesticides. I have a friend that grows in LA. He grows legally in LA and in Oklahoma. And one thing that they make sure we don't have any chemicals, pesticides, anything like that. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you definitely have to make sure you source it and watch where you're getting it from. But nevertheless, it is a medicine, and it's here to heal, and it also heals the soil too. Whenever you grow hemp too as well. Yeah, you can make a lot of things off of it. You can make hemp bricks out of it. That's you can't when you have hemp bricks in a house, it won't you can't blow it up. I mean, not blow it up. You can't flame it up. It won't be burned down. Yeah, hemp bricks was not. Yeah, you make ropes, all kinds of things about it. They was even making hair out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot today.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so moringa shows up in a lot of your food. What makes it your secret weapon?
Uh, you can heat it up and it'll lose its nutrition. A lot of its nutrition. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that you heat up, a lot of sea vegetables, when you add heat to it, you zap a lot of the nutrients out of it. You know what I mean? Or you take a lot of it out of it. So moringa, you can still heat it up and still keep its nutrition. So that would be the base of my seasonings, and it gives you a boatload of energy. You don't crash. It's anti-cancer. It's anti-tumor. So that's my way of infusing the community. Instead of poison, I'm infusing them with something healthy. So that would be the basis. One of the bases of my Cajun seasoning is the moringa. So every time that you ate soul food, if you ate soul food, and you actually ate moringa, so a lot of people wonder why. Well, I feel good after that because 46 anti-inflammatory ingredients, aka meaning it's going to make you feel better. It's going to take away aches and pains. Loaded with vitamin K too as well. That's the vitamin that you produce to whenever whenever you're repairing yourself. So whenever you're young, you might bang yourself and barely feel it because you're producing a lot of vitamin K. So it's vitamin K, loaded with vitamin C. It's amazing. Loaded with iron too. It's 10 times the iron than spinach. You know what I mean? For people with anemia and stuff like that. So I love it. It's very, very healthy. I love it. So that's why it's a secret weapon. You can heat it up, cold, anything, but it's very nutritious for the body.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that too, like the different ailments, because I have low iron and I've been wanting to go vegan. I would say maybe a 50%er right now. Like I'll have certain days, like I do meatless Mondays. Like I'm not gonna have meat on this day, or I'm not gonna have meat on that day. But some places, like I do need a little bit more iron, so I usually eat the meats, that have the higher iron in them. So what do you say to someone that's like trying to fully transition into going vegan, and how do they get all the nutrients that they need when they're deficient in certain areas?
Right. And everybody that I know that's iron deficient, they eat meat. You don't get that. That's not the iron that your body's asking for. It's actually iron fluorine.
Iron fluorine.
Iron fluorine, you get that from burdock roots, sarsaparilla, a lot of fruits and vegetables and plants and stuff like that. And a lot of people talk about protein. Protein is basically amino acids. You get amino acids from plants, so you basically get secondhand amino acids by eating meat. That's why you can't process. That's why a lot of people tend to get to blow up. And talking about iron deficiency, and this correlates with my book with the parasitic invasion of the Black community. So there's a lot of studies that have been finding out about with the iron deficiency. There's a parasite that actually eats up all your iron. Iron fluorine. I can't think of the specific name of that parasite, but it's known that. But one thing that can help with that is also cloves, wormwood, black walnut extract, neem, spirulina, those things, chlorella too as well. Those things can actually help out a lot with that. But iron that you really need that can help you out with that: sarsaparilla, burdock root, bamboo shoots, a lot of green leafies. But burdock root and sarsaparilla is one of the big powerhouses of that. But also, before I always have people do that, do a parasite cleanse: papaya seeds, neem, neem. And the reason why the iron is so important, why you need that iron, that is what your body uses for oxygen to travel. They're not going to tell you that.
So that's important, obviously. Yes. It's super important.
It keeps you young.
Yeah.
It keeps you young, keeps you fresh, it keeps you energetic, you know what I mean? It keeps you springy, you know what I mean? And it helps you absorb the sun too as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So your fried chicken is really oyster mushrooms.
Right on.
Okay. So your po' boy bun is spelt?
Yes, man, that's spelt.
Why those swaps?
Of course, oyster mushrooms. That's like it has a chickeny taste and texture and all that as well. I use the batter. I use the flour spelt. Well, oyster mushrooms has soluble gold, soluble copper, and soluble gold is why we do need that, as that's what you need to absorb more vitamin D, as well as copper too as well. Copper too as well is very important too to help ward off any type of parasitic or viruses or anything like that. Any virus or parasite that comes in contact with copper, even the chelated edible copper, it will zap all this energy out of it, basically effectively killing it. So it's very important. And this also helps your hair from growing gray, and it also helps. It's really essential nutrient for the heart too as well. So you get that from mushrooms. So I like that from mushrooms, and the flour that I use is spelt. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's still gluten, but it's actually a water soluble gluten. What I mean by water soluble, meaning that if you add water to wheat, you mix it up, you're basically going to make a paste. You're going to make a glue. But you add water with spelt, it's water soluble. It's able to flush out. When you add continual water, it's not going to condense and harden up, and so it's more healthy. You know what I mean?
That's a talent.
Not clog you up.
Yeah,
it's my alchemy.
You're gifted. I will say that you are very gifted.
I think.
Okay, so I want to talk about community engagement and education. So you started cooking with demos long before the restaurant opened. What was the most common light bulb moment audiences have during those demos?
My favorite demos is because I like growing a lot of my own produce and stuff. My favorite demo is doing something at the Palm Center that a lot of the brothers got together. Brother Kavanaugh, he's been on TED Talks. He actually got together and got some grants, him and Brother Cotton, and created an outdoor farmers market and a lot of outdoor fruit garden for the homeless and stuff like that. And what I would do is do a garden to table. So I would have they had an outdoor kitchen, and I would do I would just literally pick all the fruits and vegetables and make a crazy dish. You know what I mean? And I do it all the time. And so that's really fun, and people loved it. You know what I mean? So that's something that's really one thing I really loved about it.
Wow.
I mean, I've done some really big speaking engagements and stuff like that. Some, you know what I mean? But that was really that's really more meaningful to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That intimacy with the smaller groups, right? I love that. Okay, so Third Ward is both historic and rapidly gentrifying. How does Soul Food Vegan fit into the fight to keep Black dollars and health in the neighborhood?
I mean, we still here. This health you just gotta value health. Like I tell people, I'm not gonna fight you to health, and the student finds the teacher. You know what I mean? So, but you just got. I mean, you just gotta find a way. Like we're doing super healthy, wealthy now. So just gotta find a way where people need and find that service to them. So I just make sure I support everybody. Me personally, I put out to the universe what I want back. If you got a business, I want you. Anybody know me that met me that I ask you in a minute. You got a business I can support. How can I support you like you support my business? So I just put out to the universe what I want back, and I keep my ears to the street and see what people want and what they really need. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, you know what I mean?
I love that. I love that spirit. Yeah. So, do you have any upcoming projects or events that we can tell everybody about and share on that note?
Well, we have a grand opening coming really soon. I'm doing an announcement. I'm getting all the permits and stuff together right now. But 2411 Emancipation, super healthy, wealthy, Packs Plus, juice bar / dispensary will be open. So I'm gonna have a big announcement. Stay tuned. You can follow my Instagram page at soul_food_vegan. So I got that coming up, and I also have an upcoming book release in the next 2.5 weeks. The Cosmic Daddy Daughter Relationship. You also can get my cookbook, The Evolution of Soul Food, if you want to eat healthy. It's on Amazon right now. You can just Google and type in The Evolution of Soul Food Volume 1. You'll see me in a cartoon character holding up a big old cabbage.
Aww, I love that.
It hit number one on first new sellers my first week.
Wow,
so I did pretty
congratulations.
good. Yeah, it's the top 100 soul food books in America on there. So yeah, check it out.
That's amazing.
I plan to do good numbers with this one.
Right, we're gonna support it for sure.
And the parasitic invasion of the Black community, that's coming out too as well. So I want y'all to stay tuned with that. Y'all can follow my Instagram for that. All the updates and stuff for that. So yeah.
And if you had to leave like one piece of knowledge, wisdom, insight, advice to the world, like you leaving this earth and you can leave them with one thing, what would you leave them with?
Well, my quote that I always say, in this journey called life, you give somebody enlightenment, because that's the only thing you can take with you when you leave. And on this journey called life, the more people that you enlighten, the more illuminated your journey ultimately becomes. Because whenever you illuminate somebody, they can't help but to illuminate back to you if they have that in them to illuminate. So that's what I would say.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Well, all right.
So we're going to do a rapid fire fun part. Okay. One word or one sentence only. First dish you ever perfected?
Okra.
Okay.
Okra stew.
Okay. Ingredient you put in everything if no one stopped you?
Cayenne.
Really? I thought it was the moringa, but okay, you say cayenne. All right. Yeah, cayenne. Hardest traditional dish to veganize?
Chitlins.
Yeah, how you gonna do that?
I don't want to do
Ain't no what he said. I don't want to do it. Okay. Dream dinner guest?
Maya.
Is there a particular Maya Angelou? Look, wait. Maya. Okay, Maya. That one's for you.
Maya. I love cook for Maya. Everybody know that.